What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TARS AI, TAI today. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get into it, all right? Here we are on this, the 9th of May, sitting just below 9 cents right now, basically at 9 cents. Yesterday, we had a nice move up, you guys, 41.5% up. Good volume, very good volume. Some of the most volume we've seen throughout this whole range here. The RSI bounced right off the 50. It's a match made in heaven, man. It really is perfect. And I think that yesterday was a definitive breakout of this bull flag that you were in, right? This, oops, that's not, I didn't mean to do either of those things. Bull flag like this, right? Bull flag, here's your flag pole. It's a bull flag. And if this is a bull flag, which it is, from a low to a high, the way that you measure this, you take this flag pole, you put it at the base of your flag, and the idea would be that whenever you break out, which we are doing right now, the idea would be that you move all the way up until you're at about the measure move area. Now with measure move targets, which this one, by the way, is at about 40 cents, with measure move targets, they are not guarantees, they're not prophecies, they're not written on a stone tablet that you found in a cave in the desert somewhere. You know what I mean? It is an idea. You can fall short of it. You can blast through it. You don't have to stop here, but the idea is that we go to about 40 cents, just below there maybe, right? If we take that idea and we run with it, you can see here that back in time, look at that. You had prior resistance in this area right here. You kind of had prior resistance right here too, just below it, acknowledging the fact that you could find resistance below it, right? Okay, let's take some fibs. Let's do some Fibonacci extensions. We're going to take our high to our low here and see what lines up. Well, that's right in the heart of the zone of the 1886 to the 200 level, which normally is not the most significant level. It's pretty significant. Oftentimes enough, you do find significance there. Don't get me wrong. But the thing that I'm talking about here, with the 1886 and the 200, the reason why I think that this is significant right now, beyond normality, is because a lot of cryptos recently have found support and resistance on their corresponding 1886 to 200 levels. I've seen it happen a lot, and there's a lot of cryptos that have targets that are up in these areas right now. So it makes a lot of sense. For whatever reason, this is the personality trait of crypto right now, is that they like their 1886 to 200. Now, that doesn't mean that every crypto is going to do that. Some might stop at their 1618s or their 1414, their 1272s. Some go up to their 2272s or beyond. You know what I mean? Like it's not so cut and dry. But again, if this is the idea, something in this area here between about 35 and 39 cents, if that's the idea, then I would take it a step further and say maybe if we fall short of that idea, the next area to go to be 27 cents. Maybe if we exceed that idea, maybe the next area to go to would be about 50 cents. With the 2272 specifically, oftentimes you actually do break through it just a little bit. So it wouldn't be 50 cents, it'd be like 55 cents, 53 cents, something like that, right? But whether it's just below or just above, we have targets for that. And if it is right on the money, if we get this measure move of this bull flag and it's perfect right there, I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense too, because again, prior resistance and in an area that the fibs have been respecting lately across the board in crypto. I think this move has started now. And this is where I want to get into another point in this video that I was trying to make in another video actually, but I had to stop and restart that video because I just couldn't get the point across the right way. But it was another TAI video that I was going to make, and I've tried doing it a couple times, so I'm going to try to make this point quick, right? I'm not trading this thing. I'm not trading it at all. Why would I trade it whenever I very much and I very thoroughly believe that right now we're on a war path? It took us 8 days last time to see a move that was over 500% in growth, from a low to a high. 550%. That was the 17th of April to the 26th of April. How many days is that? Is that 8? How many days is that? That's 9 days. Okay, well, from this low then it was 8 days. Maybe from this low it was 8 days. My bad. I suppose the move really started after this day. So really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. That's how I was counting it, right? But anyways, tomato, 8 days, 10 days, whatever. I'm not going to get in the way of this thing. I'm not selling it. I'm not trading it, right? We're in a breakout move. I believe we are, and the measure move is all the way up here. Even if I'm wrong and we don't see a 40-cent price, it's at 38 cents, I'm not going to risk this, because even if it goes just below that target, right, that would still be a 3x. That's a 200% move from the current price. I'm not going to trade this thing. And the reason I'm not going to trade this thing is not solely because I think we're on a war path to higher prices that could result in a 3x or a 4x or a more x in the next week or two. That's not the sole reason why I'm not trading it. The reason why I'm not trading is because I'm buying this and selling this on Coinbase Wallet, on a DEX, decentralized exchange. I only have the availability, the option to swap this coin. not limit orders, not buy orders and sell orders. When I swap the coin at the level of volume that I'm trading with, it literally, I'm essentially relinquishing a good portion of what I hold. Like let's imagine that, and I've got a lot more than this in this coin, but let's say I've got $1,000 in this coin. If I sold $1,000 right here with the intention to buy back on a DEX where you do a swap, it's essentially those swaps work as like a market order, right? So whenever you do that swap, let's say you're swapping $1,000 of TAI for $1,000 worth of Solana. Well, you don't actually get $1,000 worth of Solanas. The fees are very small, very, very minimal. But if you swap 1,000 of TAI for Solana, you're going to get like 950 or 900. That's just to sell it. When you buy back, it's the same thing. Now, instead of buying 950 or 900, you're buying back 850 or 900 of TAI. So effectively, you went from 1,000 to 900 to $850 worth of your crypto just by buying and selling it. So at that rate, that's pretty steep because there's just so low liquidity on this thing, right? It's very low liquidity, at least on the DEXs it is. I think most of the liquidity is on Bybit or other exchanges that are just bigger, right? That have adopted the liquidity more so. So on DEXs, if you're buying and selling, you essentially have to commit yourself to selling at the right place to catch a drop that is more than 10% to make it even worth your time to do that, right? And at that point, even if it drops 15%, you're essentially risking whatever it is that you're trading for a 5% double dip opportunity, right? It's just not worth it to me. It's really not worth it. If I see something, if we get a double top or I see something that makes me think we're going to see like a 20% drop or more, okay, I'll trade it. But if it's a 10% drop, if it's a 15% drop, which we just had, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not trading this at all. If you're on an exchange, not a DEX, a centralized exchange, then cool. You've got the availability to trade without losing out on this thing, right? Probably, depending on the liquidity levels. But I would think that you do. You probably could put in market orders or limit orders and not lose out on 10% overall buying and selling on what you have. I hope this all makes sense. Again, this is why I had to restart this video. But essentially, all I'm trying to say is effectively, I'm not trading this. I'm just holding it. If you're watching my channel, if you're looking on x.com and you're waiting for me to talk about like a potential trade setup with TAR's AI, you won't find it because here's the setup. We bought down here. In fact, that's not the whole truth, is it? We bought here, we bought here, and then we bought here. We bought every step of the way down. Now I'm holding until we're at least at 27 cents, at least at 27 cents. Until we're at least at a minimum at 27 cents, I'm holding. I'm not touching this thing. Or to at most 53 cents, 55 cents, something in this area here. I genuinely think that we're going to stop here. This is where I'm personally expecting to sell is above 30 cents. Personally, that's what I'm planning on. But life doesn't care about my plans. Life doesn't care about your plans. It's very possible we could stop at 27 cents, so I'm open to it. But I'm just not touching it until then. I think that we're on a warpath. I think that we really are moving up higher. We look at the daily RSI, bouncing off the 50. You don't seem to respect the 50 too much. It's like you find support just below it or resistance just above it. So this is fine for me. And I think right now we're on our way higher to the overbought area. It would be nice if by the end of today we close green, which we're only down 0.6% today, 8 hours left in the day. I think that we can. If we could continue to close green and continue to move up, not reject the 60, not reject any key areas in the RSI, and just get to that overbought zone, you guys, it's going to be fantastic. When we got overbought here, right, this was right here, when we got overbought, we had already seen some fantastic movement, right? From a low to a high. By the time we actually got overbought, it was here. We were already up 134%. But then from that same closing price, not even from the low to the high, we moved up another 175%, right? We were essentially halfway through the move once we got overbought. We're not even there yet, right? We're not even there yet. The good times, and in fact, the biggest move, if you notice here, the biggest movements of this overall move happened when we were in the overbought zone, not beforehand. So if that was fun to you, and that was fun to me, I had a lot of fun yesterday, guys. 41% to the upside. That's a beautiful thing. That's small potatoes compared to what's coming. We got some extra stuff coming our way, you guys, and it really wouldn't surprise me if it took us all the way up to our all-time high areas. And not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It doesn't stop there, right? That's the area based on the bull flag I'm considering taking some profits on, that's when I'll trade, because I expect that we will see a little bit of a pullback that's probably more than 20%. Why? Well, I think, if we go from a low here all the way up to about 30 cents, right? Well, it was like 30, 40 cents right there. That's a 16x. We could probably see more than a 20% pullback from there. I mean, let's just say we stop there, we pull back to prior resistance. That's a 40% drop right there. It doesn't seem that significant. That's a 40% drop right there, and that could happen, right? We've with these low market cap coins, with this low liquidity type of cryptos, you can see 50% drops in a day, and then they come right back up. You know what I mean? So I probably will be taking profits around 40 cents, 35 cents, somewhere in that area. But I fully anticipate that TARS doesn't stop there and it continues to grow over the coming months, right? By the end of June, by the end of July, you've got significantly higher aspirations than just 40 cents. You're at 9 cents now. My expectation would be that by the end of June, early July, we see this thing up at $1.14, $3.30, somewhere in between. We probably don't go up to 330 if we're being honest. I mean, 330, that's a 36x from here. That's an over 140x overall. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. It can happen, but I doubt it. Probably most likely we'd stop around $1. Maybe we even stop below. There's no guarantee that we hit the 1272. Sometimes you do stop just below, and that's fine if we do. What is this fib line up with high to low here? The money zone is actually right there, right below the 1272. So it's very possible we could stop between 70 cents and $1.14. It's very, very possible that we could. But I don't think that we do. I personally would think that we go a little bit above the 1272. I would think that $1.76 to $2. I personally like that target. I think that that's where we're going to go. But whether it's $1, whether it's $2, whether it's somewhere in between, most likely, we're not done here. And we're certainly not going to be done at 40 cents, right? We've got a lot more growth to go. I'm just assuming that this 40 cents endeavor is going to happen over the coming weeks. Within the next week or two, we're going to be there, where these targets might be by the end of June, if not early July, something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think I've run my course on this video. Weekly RSI looks the saddest. It actually looks pretty sad if I'm being honest, but you are above the 40. You had a very positive reaction out of the oversold zone. You just need to carry on with this. Weekly RSIs can change. We have 3 days left, or 2 days, 9 hours left in this week. If we move up over the next 2 days, and I think we will, this can actually start to look even more beneficial than it is right now. 3-day RSI looking awesome. Bouncing off the 50. We love it. Good. Very good. Looking like you want to go to the overbought zone. Beautiful. 3-day time frame, think of it not in terms of 3 days, think of it in terms of like weeks, because a 3-day time frame, the RSI here, if we're going to move up to the overbought zone, that'll probably be a week or two away from here, and that's exactly when I think we're going to be at our next high, right? Daily RSI here bouncing off the 50 as well, or around that area, posture to get into the overbought zone. It doesn't stop here, guys. It doesn't stop here. If the question has arisen at all, is it a good time to buy? I hope the answer is clear, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I think it's still at a good area to get in. There's probably other projects in crypto that have just as much potential that haven't moved up this much overall, but I still think that this thing has a lot of potential. I mean, if we're looking at it here, TAI, you're at a $62 million market cap, $31 million in volume. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. This thing has 100x potential. It has 500x potential. It's got anything and everything in between. Maybe we only get a 30x by the end of the cycle, but it's got a lot of potential to grow. And I think if you wanted to buy this thing, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, if you bought this thing here and you just waited some months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, maybe not quite 6 months, but 3 months, 5 months, I think you would have a very good time. I think you would have a very, very good time, let alone if you try to play with it like I'm going to play with it once we get to these various areas here, but we'll see how all that goes. I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I very much do, in case it's unclear as to what's happening here, I very much do believe that we're going to go higher. I don't believe that we've got lower to go. I think that this is it, right? I personally don't believe that we go lower. If I'm wrong, and I can be wrong, I absolutely can be wrong. Maybe this is some kind of M pattern. Maybe. And if it is an M pattern, we would go below this low here. But I don't think it is. I think it's deceitful. I think it looks like an M pattern. Really, it's just a horizontal consolidation phase. It's very bullish, and it looks like we're pressing the upper side of this more. So we're bouncing off the lower side, and we're grinding the top side. I think we're going to break out to the upside. And it's on a 1 hour basis within the next 24 hours. We're going to be on the move again. So I'm just waiting patiently. I'm not panicking at all. And guess what? If it goes lower, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy more. That's what I'm going to do. If we go lower, the lowest that I would expect us to go to, let's see, from a low here to a high there, be about 8.1 cents, maybe 8 cents, let's say, to about 7 cents, 8 to 7 cents. And if we go back down there, I will definitely buy more. I will load up the truck, man. I already did load up the truck, but I'll load it up even more. If we take a low to a high here, You can see that you bounced right off your 0.5, looking good. We need to get above the 236. Once we get a day to close above 9.64 cents, at that point we're validated. At that point there's no debating, no arguing at all that this is the low and that we are taking out this high and we're on a path higher to like 38 cents, 40 cents, something like that. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. There was one more thing I wanted to do, actually. I think from a high to a low here, yeah. Golden ratio, 382. The next target, I mean, at a minimum, man, we would be going to 25 to 35 cents here. And it really wouldn't surprise me if we stopped at about 35 cents too, because that's right there with our measure move. So, right, you find resistance at the golden ratio. You find support in the 382.5 area. You went a little bit below there. The next area to go to is the 786, 886. So I'm just, it's very... It all lines up in the same area. It really all does line up in that same area. Something that's between 30 and 40 cents is where I think we're going to go. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. See you on the next one. 2 weeks or less, we'll be there. 40 cents, 35 cents, 2 weeks or less time. We're going to be there. All right, bye-bye.